Here are some of the games that are dropping on crowdfunding in the month of June. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Clayton, and on this channel I talk about weekly crowdfunding board games. So if you're into that, do me a favor and absolutely destroy that like button because it really helps this channel grow. Now before we jump right into it, I just want to mention that June does not have a lot of big title games dropping this month. However, there's still a lot of great games that are dropping this month. We have some skirmish games, some deduction games, and some stuff in between. And as always, I have links and the dates for these games down below. The list is in no particular order, so let's just jump right into the video. Starting off on June 1st, we have the Sunny Geeks table dropping on Gamefound by Rathskellers. This is the second time they are dropping on crowdfunding. This time is on Gamefound. This is a super customizable gaming table with over 3 different colors to choose from and 2 different leg bases. As I mentioned before in previous videos, I talked about this table and other tables in my top 10 board game tables that you can buy right now. I'll have that link down below if you are interested to hear about that. Moving on, we have Drop Bears. Campers must work together to survive a terror-filled night in the Australian bush. Drop Bears is a cooperative game where the campers have to carefully choose actions every turn to stay alive. The group can choose from different options such as explore and run, allowing campers to place new map tiles down to keep the hungry beasts away. Rest and heal, which will give them a chance to patch up and recover from any damages. And finally, search and endeavor. This will help players find much needed survival resources. Players must use these actions to ensure as many campers survive until dawn. If you're into survival horror games and you're looking for something that has more of an Australian theme, this might be a game for you. Speaking of horror games, you gotta check out this next one. The Horror Game Show, a 2 to 4 player horror game where players play the role of producers on a new reality TV show. Players will have their own team of competitors who they will have to train, equip, advertise, and more. Players also build their own deck of action cards. Action cards allow players to move characters on the board, build a pool of fans, or new special actions. The game is divided into 12 rounds, and players earn points by eliminating characters and completing contracts. That one is definitely a twist on horror games. It gives me a lot of Cabin in the Woods vibe, where you're actually playing as producers trying to kill characters to complete objectives. That one sounds interesting to you, then I think this one might be worth backing. I love the style of this one so far, so I can't wait to see more. Coming June 7th, we have Space Lane Trader, a pickup and delivery game for 1 to 8 players where you control a cargo ship trying to make a fortune in the new open ship trade. You buy and sell goods, transporting them between different planets within the Terrain Federation. The main object of the game is to earn money faster than your competitors. Your character will develop over the course of the game from an inexperienced person to a grizzled space captain. You develop your character by spending experience points that you earn from drawing event cards as the game progresses. This one sounds like it's going to be a fun pickup delivery space themed game. Coming June 15th, we have Clash of Galliformes. Players must expand their territory to find supplies and new technologies for their tribe. There's always a threat from the rival clans, so you have to adapt your strategy and think ahead in order to survive. This one definitely has a lot of cute bird meeples, and it sounds like it's going to play a lot like Root. Enigma Crime Scenes. Detectives work together to solve mysteries. This is a replayable crime investigation game that can be played cooperatively, competitively, or there is also an imposter mode. Players attempt to pinpoint the criminal from 10 different suspects. Using a variety of different tools, the first player to combine the location, weapon, and fingerprint clues to find the correct criminal wins the game. If you're into investigation games, this might be something you want to look into. I have a link down below. Speaking of deduction games, you gotta check out this next one too. Midnight Murder Mysteries. The game box contains a large number of unique cases. Each case you can interrogate each of the 12 suspects and search for clues at 24 different locations on various decks of the ship. There's also 3 different game modes for this one: competitive, cooperatively, and solo. Gathering Gloom. This is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players and work together to resolve a series of crises. Roll dice to determine events, move to different locations, and play cards to resolve the crisis. But be careful, because Gloom gathers every turn based on the events. If the Gloom reaches 50 or more, the players lose the game. A lot of horror games seem to be dropping this month. This one sounds like it's going to play a lot like Horrified. Very interested to see how this one plays and how it turns out. Demloc is a competitive skirmish game for 2 to 4 players. The game develops in different missions where players will use their characters trying to reach their objective to win the game. The game's length of each game session will be based on the number of missions played. The game switches between skirmish game sessions against other players to an individual game sessions where there's planning and improving players' own guilds. Speaking about skirmish games, I have another one for you guys to check out. Mantle of the Keeper. This is a 2 to 4 player card driven skirmish game where players take on the role of 1 or 6 different chosen characters to either battle head to head or on teams. Players must cater to their own unique playstyle in order to gain advantage in the battle, counter the attacks of their rivals with powerful defense, and to gain favor. Players must use that favor to upgrade their chosen. If this one sounds interesting to you, I will be getting a prototype copy for this one, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, if you guys want to check out more about this game, check out my friends over at BoardGameHype, where they did an amazing preview of this game. Check it out in the link down below. LOQ, a party word game with a twist. The game ends after 10 rounds. One player will play as the describer, and the rest are trying to guess the word that they are trying to say by only using 3 words. If I'm being honest, I'm not a huge fan of party word games, but if you are, then this might be a game for you. TrailBlazers, a card drafting and laying game for 1 to 8 players. Players are competing to earn points by building, biking, and hiking from their campsite of their matching trail type. After 4 rounds, the game ends and the player with the most amount of points win the game. I love how this one has an 8 player count, so if you're looking for a high player tile laying game, look into this one. I highly recommend it. Now for this next game, I have to shout out this user here. He mentioned a game that's coming out in June that I have not heard of. Septima, a competitive, highly interactive strategy game of witchcraft for 1 to 4 players. Build your witch coven, enthrall the townfolk, and rise to power. Practice your craft and gain wisdom by collecting herbs, brewing potions, and healing the townfolk. This one sounds like it could be a lot of fun to play. If it sounds interesting to you, again, links down below. Now, I just quickly want to talk about a few games that might drop this month, but do not have any dates yet. And that is Aeon's End, Past, and Future. I talked about this in last month's video, but this is going to be a new Aeon's expansion where it is set in the past and the future. We also have the Queen's Dilemma, which is a sequel to the King's Dilemma. They announced that Kickstarter, and again, this one might drop fairly soon. We also have the new Cyberpunk game. There's not too much known about this one yet, but just hearing rumors around online that this game might drop hopefully in June, maybe July. If you're a fan of the video game, then I'm sure CMON's going to do a great job with this game, but who knows? If you're not a fan of CMON, you might want to pass on this one. I'll talk about it more when I hear more things about it. Let me know what games you guys are backing, and as always, if there's a game that you guys want me to cover, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll be happy to do so. Check out this video right here to learn about more great games, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.